Well, let me tell you about my weekend. So it started out Friday night, got home in the old Clifford the Big Red van, and it's making a funny noise, kind of like a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo at idle. So Saturday morning, I look under the hood. Okay, harmonic balancer. Not bad for a van that has 340,000 miles on it that I've been driving. Lately, it's been about 6,000 miles a month. So yeah, 15-year-old van. Rubber stuff deteriorates, that happens, whatever. Ordered a new one Saturday morning. And then while that was waiting to come in, I decided to go get some lumber. So let's look at the lumber I bought. It wasn't that much, I was like, I just got to refinish half the deck. It's only half the deck, not all of it, so it shouldn't be too much. Fairly reasonable amount. Like 13, 16 foot long 2x8s and 13 more in 12 foot length. Yeah, that's like 1,800 pounds of lumber. And of course I bought it from Lowe's and I hauled it out by hand because I completely underestimated it. In hindsight, I should have just had a lumber company bring it out. Anyway, that's just the beginning. So, decided to, unload it again by hand. Just had to move everything out so I could back the trailer up in here. Decided up, a good time to load up the Firebird. And sure enough, the hydraulics on the trailer are not working. So I rewired them, went through all the high current, replaced the ground stud, went through all the low current, still nothing. So I finally went through the whole system and determined that the solenoid valve was bad. It was getting signal, just wasn't working. So no hydraulics, which means that I had to get creative. So a high lift jack didn't have enough lift to get the trailer on the ground, so I had to put it on a bunch of blocks. So that's kind of terrifying. I figured I would improve my odds of being able to take it easy by just bolting the slicks on the Firebird, but that ended up being a complete waste of time because in the 9 months it's been here since I've parked it, the fuel pump has died. So I've been hoisting it up by hand 6 feet at a time with a come along. This is, yeah. Oh, and that's not even getting into the van. Okay, so harmonic balancer on a Power Stroke 7.3 van. Of course, Fords always have goofy fan clutches. So I got, it took me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get the radiator out and everything. And to get to the fan clutch, and I'll mention that this is a little different fan clutch than the truck Power Stroke. Because a truck Power Stroke, you can at least get in there. You have a straight shot, you can get in there with something and actually reach the nut. Not the case with the van one. So first thing I did is I went and I bought your standard fan clutch wrench. Took it home and realized it didn't fit. So then I took some calipers and measured the nut. And it's a 1 7/8. So I went to Tractor Supply, which is the only place that sells 1 7/8 wrenches. And the only way you can buy a 1 7/8 wrench is to buy a pack of 6 actually. It's been a long weekend. 6 comically huge wrenches that go up to 2 inches. So I can work on really big things now. And I could almost get that 1 7/8 wrench in there if I unbolted the fan and wiggled everything just in the right position, but not quite. So I had to make a wrench. So I made this unholy monstrosity out of some 1/4 inch plate and welded on this piece of other flat stuff. And that took me probably, 2 or 3 hours of finessing that into a shape that just happened to fit in there and actually could apply some torque to it. Got to the point where I could put enough torque on it that I was turning the engine. So I wrapped an inner tube around the crank pulleys and put a ratchet strap on it. Blocked that up. That actually worked really well. And then I spent another hour and a half fighting it because I could have swore every book I've seen says it's a left-hand thread. Actually, it's not. On the van, it's a right-hand thread. So I turned it in the proper direction and it came right off. Oh boy. I think that was other than having to make a seal driver for the giant seal, that was pretty much all the problems I had. So I was supposed to leave and drive 830 or 60 or something miles to Topeka Monday morning. I was supposed to be at work Tuesday morning. And right now it's Tuesday, I don't know, after 6 or so by the time I got that Firebird up there. It looks like it's about to get dark. So, yeah, I'm, a day and a half behind schedule. I'd like to be at work tomorrow, but it's getting dark and I'm 12 and a half hours away. So, good times. That was a fun weekend. Not. So let's see if something blows up on the way to Topeka, or if my bad luck has finally passed.